Yo, what's up everybody? This is episode 2 of Starting From Zero. And if you're wondering why I haven't been putting a video out every single day, that's because I don't want to just post something just for the sake of posting something, right? I want it to be valuable. I want you guys to be able to see what I think I did right, what I did wrong, what we all can learn from. And so that is why I haven't been posting a video every single day. And also, a lot has happened since the last video we did. I'm really excited to share this with you. So I have a company working on my logo now, and I was going to go with a website called Upwork.com. If you need any work there, they're not paying me to say this, but I would definitely recommend checking them out. They have a bunch of freelancers, and it's their full-time job, and they do excellent work. I actually had some people send me some things they've done in the past, and they were absolutely phenomenal. So with some connections I made and connecting the dots, I ended up finding a company that is partnered with Billy Jean. If you're on social media, you know him as Billy Jean is Marketing. And so they're actually doing my logo. I'll actually get some rough drafts or some renderings here in probably the next hour or so. So I'm really excited about that. I bought my domain name, as you know, and I went with WordPress to build my website. And here's why. Through people I talked to and all the research that I did, from what I could tell, WordPress is the best for Google search and SEO and things of that nature. So it made sense to go with them versus someone like Weebly or Squarespace. Nothing against them. I just chose, because of my research, to go with WordPress. And I don't have the money to pay a web developer, right? So I've been doing it all on my own, which has been a process, but I'm learning as I go along. So I'm actually developing a new skill set, which is really cool. Doing it myself, that's probably the hardest thing so far in this process, is building my website myself, figuring out how I want it to look. I already got that kind of in my head, but doing it myself has been very difficult. It's a lot easier when you know what you're doing, which I don't, right? So also, I am about to order some business cards, and they're actually going to be metal business cards, which are going to be phenomenal, right? Because when I hand someone a business card to a business owner or an executive, I want them to remember me. And how better than whenever you get a business card for it to be metal instead of paper, like you would expect. And it adds a feeling of value to it. So that's why I'm doing that. And I'll actually be partnering with that company that's doing my logo for some other things in the future. So I'm really excited about that. They've worked with national brands for their marketing, for their branding. So I'm really, really excited for the value I'll be able to bring to the clients that I bring on to the company. Along with I've been doing a lot of reading, obviously a lot of training, and one book I read that I would recommend is The One Thing. And in that book, they talk a lot about, every day when you wake up thinking, what is the one thing that if I accomplish this, it would make everything else easier or unnecessary. And it also talked about a lot of times in life, what we'll do, we'll take energy and time away from what needs it most and what's most important and give it to something that's not as important. Whether it's because it's easier, it doesn't take as much work, whatever that may be, we tend to do it a lot. And I've even found in my own life, there's times when I would do that. So ask yourself, what areas of your life are you giving up what you want most for what is comfortable and what you want now? A simple example to kind of give you an idea is if you're on a diet or you're trying to shape your body a certain way, what you want most is ultimately to look a certain way, to feel a certain way, to gain a certain amount of muscle, to lose a certain amount of fat, but you might see a donut. So in that moment, if you're like me, or cake or cookies, in that moment, what you want most is to that fitness goal. Look a certain way, feel a certain way, but what you want now is that donut. But that donut, as small as it might seem, will actually affect your long-term goals. So be careful giving up what you want most for what you want now. And that takes a lot of discipline, an extreme amount of discipline. And what I've noticed is all the great people, whether it's in business and sports, they have an insane amount of discipline. And I was actually listening to a podcast today with the women's coach of the national soccer team, Jill Ellis. And she said, whenever it comes to a penalty kick at the end of the game, most people think, oh, you want the person that can make the shot the best. And while that may be true, she said another big factor that comes into play, especially when you care about the players, is you want someone who can handle the mess. And that is extremely powerful. And as I was thinking, all these super successful people, entrepreneurs, business people, whatever, they are all people that can handle the mess of failing. You know, there's plenty of people throughout history that were supposed to do great things, but they failed once and they couldn't handle the mess. They couldn't handle that failure. So they fell by the wayside, and the world never got to experience their gift or what they were supposed to contribute. So I've been looking at my own life, and I want you to ask yourself, are you to the point in your life yet where you are able to accept the mess that would come from failure, right? In that business that you're wanting to start, in that project that you're wanting to do, are you confident enough in yourself, and are you self-aware enough to be okay with the mess? And if you're not, then you'll never fully allow yourself to go all in. You'll never fully allow yourself to experience what you're supposed to experience, because you're always worried about what happens if I fail. And so that was, when I heard that, it was absolutely incredible. I also filed for my LLC, which on the 20th I got an email that it was rejected. And that was really, really difficult to wrap my mind around, because that's the one step, right? You could have a website, a logo, all of that stuff, a name, but none of that matters if you don't have your LLC filed. So on the 20th, I got the email that it had been rejected. So I was devastated, as you can imagine. I started looking through the email, and there were two PDFs. The one was the paperwork that I originally filed. The second one was a PDF explaining why it was rejected. And as I looked through it, luckily it was very simple. There were two blanks that I didn't know were supposed to be filled in. So I filled those in and sent them in. And I got an email yesterday letting me know that my LLC was actually approved and that it was filed with the Secretary of State. So I'm super excited about that. And so that was a weight lifted off my shoulders. So now I have until the end of the month. So this is August of 2019. I have until the end of the month to get my website together, because everything else is in place, except for the logo technically, but that's quick, that's easy. So the biggest thing I gotta worry about is my logo getting done, and then putting that on the website, and then finishing my website. It's extremely difficult. So that's kind of what's happened since we talked last, and that's kind of where I'm at this point. And I've already got the idea of what kind of clients I want to help, how my pricing is going to be, the services I'm going to offer. So really it's just down to getting my website done before the end of the month, because that's when we are going to launch. And also I want to challenge you. One thing that has helped me is when I go on social media, usually Instagram, right? A lot of people, I want you to ask yourself this, and I've had to ask myself, are you using social media to compare your success in your life with others, or are you using social media to prepare your future? And you know, Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V, as you probably know him, he has a book called Crushing It. And it has a lot of information on there about how to use social media to build your personal brand and really set the groundwork for the future and building a really big, powerful personal brand that people identify with. That's really, really important. From all the people that I've looked at, all the people I've studied, all the people I watch, all the people I look up to, all the big business people, they've used social media to prepare, right? Instead of compare. And it's really easy. I get it. I know. I used to do the same thing. Hopping on social media, hopping on Instagram, and then seeing someone comparing your life. And that really affects your mindset if you're not careful. Are you comparing or are you preparing? It's a very simple concept, but it's actually very, very true. And it'll actually help you a lot. And it's helped me a lot as well. So that's where we're at. Got my domain name. Everything is ready to roll except my website. So I'll be working on that quite a lot and quite hard over the next week or so. So I'm really excited about what is to come. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey. And when I get my website figured out, I'll let you guys know what the domain name is so you can go check it out and give me feedback. Once again, if you have any feedback at all, anything that you did that you feel you shouldn't have done that would have made you more successful or successful faster, or things you think you did right, please let me know. I am all ears because I really want to be able to provide the most value to the clients that I sign on and that I help. And one way to do that is make sure you have all your ducks in a row. And if I can skip some of the downfalls that some other people made, I would love to. But worst case scenario, I have to learn the hard way. I'm willing to do that as well. So don't forget, are you using social media to compare or prepare? And have you developed enough self-awareness and self-confidence to where you are able to handle the mess, worst case scenario? It's not even worst case scenario if you fail, and use that time to learn instead of sulk and get down in the dumps. It's all about mindset. Thank you guys.